Hey y'all, my name is Christina. Most of you know me as Kaylee Firefly on Facebook and my YouTube channel. And today I'm here to talk to you about Spina Bifida Awareness for the month of October 2015. And the theme is Beyond All Limits. So as I tell you a little bit about my story, or a lot actually, think of the limits that are placed on you, whether it is by you or by the medical community, your family, your friends, or your local community. Think about those limits and think about how you can reach beyond those limits. I am 34 years old. I have spina bifida, and I also have tethered cord syndrome. I have the ability to walk, though sometimes there's days that are very, very difficult. And because of the tethered cord that I actively have now, it's not guaranteed that I can walk forever. As a child growing up, I had the ability to do a lot more than I can do now. I had the ability to run and dance. So I was in soccer, I was in ballet, and I swam competitively. I was raised with my younger brother and my younger sister, and what was expected out of them was expected out of me, with my grades, with my chores, everything. They raised me as they raised my siblings. And so luckily, I had a drive. I had a drive to reach goals. There were some set by the medical community telling me I wasn't going to be able to do this or that, and I proved them wrong. And I continue to do that. In high school, my passion changed from sports to choir, where I had a great group of friends who I'm still friends with today, and to VICA, Vocational Industrial Clubs of America. I realized in high school that my goal of being in the military was not going to happen, and it was unfortunate, and it was something that I had to deal with internally. And so I switched my goal to being a police officer so I could help and serve my community. So when I joined VICA, I started my degree in criminal justice in high school, and I had the amazing opportunity to train with some wonderful police officers who are still very close to me today. And so I started my education for college in high school, which was a great opportunity. After graduating from high school, I went on to college. I was kind of a little, didn't know where my place was in college and didn't know what college fit me. So I kind of wound up at 4 different ones, but hey, I graduated with a criminal justice degree. And during college, I worked my way through college. I worked for financial institutions. I worked for major retailers in their day-to-day finances. And I worked for small businesses in finance and human resources. So I was always working, going to school, but then I fit in time to do volunteer work, which I absolutely love. And I did youth ministry for 7 years and music ministry at my church. I loved working with teenagers. I loved being around their energy. I loved it. In my mid-20s, I found out that I had a tethered cord from some symptoms I was having. I found a great pediatric neurosurgeon who released my cord, but unfortunately, I had a subcutaneous spinal fluid leak, and it took 9 surgeries to control it. I was in and out of the hospital for about 6 to 7 months. It was very, very hard. Took a very big emotional toll on me. But I knew there was a reason why. And I wouldn't find out that reason for many years, but I knew that there was a reason why. After those surgeries, I did not have the ability to run anymore, and I did not have the ability to what we call in ballet, releve, which is kind of standing on your tiptoes. That wasn't available to me after that. I did lose that ability, but it kind of turned out as a blessing. It really did. I didn't become a police officer, though I'm still very, very close to a lot of them. But I started to realize that I had to be an advocate for myself and for others like me. So I started learning medical terminology. So when I was laying in the hospital and bored out of my mind, I started questioning the nurses, asking questions all the time. Some of them were studying to be nurse practitioners, so I told them to hand me over their book, that I would help them. And they did. And they helped me. They taught me a lot. So I started to become my own advocate because I knew my parents weren't going to be there all the time to help me because they had 2 other children that they had to help too. And I was in my mid-20s. I was an adult. I was basically independent. So I knew that this was one more step to become independent. At 27, I married my best friend, a Marine. The dress blues got me, who is a wonderful, wonderful man. Upon marrying him, I was suddenly a stepmom to a now beautiful 20-year-old who is in the Army. And about a year and a couple months later, I had our son, who is now 6 and in the 1st grade. And that was a role that I took on as mom and wife, which meant I had to clean the house. I had to do the laundry. I had to make sure my family had food to eat morning, noon, and night. I took on the role of the family finances. And I started turning to nonprofit organizations to help them. And luckily, I became a member of the American Legion Auxiliary, who help the local community and our veterans active duty members and their families. So my passion for the military continued by helping them. And then my passion for the Spina Bifida community just recently became bigger because I am now part of the Adult Spina Bifida Association's Adult Council, which is amazing and a lot of fun and a lot of work. But I'm here to advocate for you, for those who are like me with Spina Bifida. And I want to show you that those limits that are set on you are set by people who don't know you. Those limits are set by people who don't understand that we live to be adults, that we live to be successful adults and independent. So don't let the limits that somebody else has placed on you, or even that you've placed on yourself, stop you. Because even though our physical bodies might not be capable of everything, our minds are. You might have to work a little bit harder. And I am one to tell you that I worked hard at some subjects in college and high school. I had to have tutors. I've had to have friends help me. I had to have professors help me. But I made it through. Just like not everybody, regardless of their disabilities, are perfect at everything. We have things that we might not be perfect at, but we still can excel by looking beyond those limits and working a little bit harder. I want you to know that limits are capable of being surpassed. You can totally defy gravity, but you have to find it in yourself to look beyond those limits. You have to find it in yourself to set goals and reach them and be proud of that. Because I promise you, people are rooting for you. They're rooting for you to get your education, to become independent, to look beyond all of those limits. And I'm proof that people set limits on me. They told me that I would have a lot of complications, that I wouldn't be able to do this or that. I wouldn't live to be that long. I'm 34 years old. I got you on that one, Doc. I beat you. And you guys can too. So look beyond the limits and set your goals high as you can think. Set your goals. I hope that we have a great month in Spina Bifida awareness. I hope that we reach a lot of people outside of the Spina Bifida community too, to show them that we're living beyond our limits, we're reaching our goals, we're defying gravity, and we're thriving, and we're independent, and we are an asset to our communities. Good luck on the rock and rolls. Make sure that the awareness spreads throughout your community, and I hope to see you one day soon, okay? Bye, y'all.